You know, this is not gonna be a funny, goofy kind of video. It's talking about something of a more serious, darker topic, basically. Very eerie if you want to look at it that way. Because you never know when it hits when it's tomorrow, you know. I don't usually talk about this, and I don't think a lot of people would talk about this either for the most part, but you know, I'm one of those individuals, or so-called rock musicians, who escaped death and cheated death. I cheated death numerous amount of times in my life, because I've been through hell, I've been through all this and all that kind of stuff. And this year in November, I'm gonna turn 30. And I am completely amazed that I've made it that far, because a long time ago, probably a decade ago, I didn't think I was gonna live up to my 30th birthday. Honestly, I know some of you are gonna call me out and say, "Oh, you're just bullshitting, Patrick, blah 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 blah," and stuff like that. But no, at 10 years ago, I never envisioned that I would make it past the age of 30. Honestly, I would have died at 27 or 28 or so, basically. I actually predicted during the mid-2000s I would have died, if I didn't have it all together in my life at the time, I would have died at 27 or 28. I would have never been alive to see my 30th birthday. And there were instances before that shit where I didn't have my shit together, that it almost came close to taking me away from this world we live in, you know? I mean, I nearly drowned in a lake when I was 6 years old. And yes, it was a very painful experience physically, you know. But thankfully, a good Samaritan, this woman at the park, pulled me out of the lake just in time before I suffocated, you know. In that lake, lifeless, you know what I mean. There are other instances where I cheated death too, you know what I mean. Like, the closest one I can think of there's two instances in my life where I basically cheated death and got out very lucky, you know. One being in 2004 when I had the case of chickenpox, just 2 months before I graduated high school and stuff like that. I was physically frail to the point where I couldn't move out of my bed for about 3 days or so, and I felt like it was over for me, you know. But thankfully, my parents took good care of me. I was taking the medication I was supposed to take to medicate myself at home. So basically, for 3 weeks in 2004, before I graduated, I couldn't even go outside because I had chickenpox. And yes, that did came close to killing me, you know. A second time that I almost died, I don't talk about this too much. I was one time jogging, because usually I'm a type of guy who has a lot of unhealthy habits, and I can honestly say I'm the type of guy that gets easily stressed out. So one afternoon in August of 2005, I went jogging, and it was like a really cloudy, 65-degree kind of day, basically in late summer. I was jogging in my neighborhood, and I saw these crowds of cop cars just driving hella fast on the street I live in the Crocker Amazon district in San Francisco. And I saw a bunch of cars passing by. I thought that at the time I thought there was a guy who was gonna start a drive-by in my neighborhood, which is kind of weird because that normally does not happen in my neighborhood. It's more likely a Compton, California kind of thing. But I thought when I was jogging outside, I didn't feel safe when the cop cars were just roaming around. So I basically ran away from my street onto the corner of the street I live in near my house, hid under a car. Then the cop cars came out, and then 10 cops pulled their guns right at me and said, "Get yourself down, man! Get yourself down! You're under arrest! You have the right to remain silent," and all this kind of legal criminal justice kind of jargon and all that kind of crap. If I was really scared because I was just listening to my music on my MP3 player, and I turned off. Thankfully, I paused the music just in time, because if I basically pulled the MP3 player out of my pocket, there was a good chance that those 10 cops would have shot me down and I would have died, you know. But thankfully, my father confronted those fucking pigs telling them, don't you fuck with my son, man, he's a good kid. Don't you fuck with my goddamn son or I'll fucking take you down to hell. He was just screaming at these damn cops. It turns out the cops were not trying to, were in my neighborhood. Those 5 cop cars were in my neighborhood because there was a fucking chink ass of a neighbor of mine who was threatening to kill his wife with a butcher knife or something near my house. I'm sorry for the bad language because I'm Asian too. I don't mean to say that really. But basically when they patted me down, when the cops basically dragged me down and put handcuffs on me, they found that there was no weapon on me, so I was clear. But I'm really happy that my dad cussed out those fucking pigs for almost putting me into jail, or maybe even worse, shooting me into the ground. Because you see in the Bay Area, you see a lot of those innocent kids getting gunned down by police for doing things they didn't mean to do, you know. So I was lucky on that one. But the real reason why I'm talking about death is because even though I don't know how long I'm gonna live for, you know, I hope to live past my 80th birthday at least in the year 2065, or November 2065 to be exact. I hope I make it that long, but we cannot know for sure what's going to happen in my future, you know. But there was a time, despite the fact that I escaped death many times in my life, past and present, that I thought I would never make it to my 30th birthday. I know people are going to call me out and say, you're just bullshitting and just making that up for sympathy or just to get attention, blah, blah, blah. You just want to be just like your favorite rock stars, Kurt Cobain or Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison, just go out and blaze away. I'm like, fuck you. There was a time I thought I wasn't going to make it past 30 because during the mid to late 2000s, I didn't have my life together at the time. More likely, based on the severity of my situation in my past, more likely I would have committed suicide because there was a time in the mid 2000s or later 2000s that I attempted suicide because people were treating me like shit. I wasn't happy with the things that were going on in my life at the time. Plus, I was dealing with a lot of family problems. My parents had a trial separation, so I did attempt suicide sometime within that time frame. If it wasn't suicide that was gonna take me out and stuff like that before my 30th birthday, it more likely would have been murder because I have a lot of people who hate my guts. Still do, really. I mean, I try to live a clean, straight life without any drama or burdens whatsoever, you know. And I did receive death threats on social media and all that kind of stuff and blah blah blah, past and present, you know. And if I didn't die because of the cops almost pulling the gun on me, or the chicken pox, or drowning in the lake, or whatever, more likely I would have either killed myself or some guy was going to put me out of my misery before my 30th birthday. And I'm going to be 30 in 3 months from now, and I'm surprised I made it this far. I've came such a long way despite how underrated I am, and I don't get the credit that I deserve, you know. But even though I don't think too much of death, really, and I don't think anyone does either, I'm not scared of dying, honestly. I'm not scared of dying, really. I'm not fucking scared of it because I've been in situations where it almost happened or it felt like it, so I'm no stranger to that experience, you know. I'm not scared of dying. Not saying I don't want to. I want to die tomorrow and just have my records sell like a fucking bundle of money and stuff like that, or whatever you want to call it. Or if someone finds out Patrick Liu died when they read something on the internet, basically, or something like that, I sell a lot more records and get a lot of Facebook likes. It's not like that, you know. But, you know, I don't know how long I'm personally going to live for, really. But one thing is for sure, that whoever is going to handle my legacy and my estate, whenever that happens, I would love my brother, my older brother that is, to be my beneficiary when I do die. And of course, whatever woman I'm with in a relationship or a marriage or anything like that when it does happen, because I cannot update my band's Facebook when I die. Neither can the people who used to be in my band, you know. So I would have to leave a beneficiary to do those kind of things for me when it's all said and done, you know. I have to make sure, I have to get someone I'm close with to have the responsibility, unfortunately, to tell the world or on social media that I'm no longer in this world, you know. Thankfully, this won't happen hopefully in a long time from now. But that's just how I look at it, though. You know, when I do die someday, I do want a beneficiary to handle my legacy and my estate. As far as music, all the things I've accomplished, maybe other things too. So I would love to either have my future wife or whichever girlfriend I have at the time, whether it's long time or whatever, and my older brother to do so, to take care of my legacy, you know. But we shouldn't really talk about that because it's just gonna make us more of a Debbie Downer, like that fucking former friend of mine's called me, which she had no fucking right to say about me. That fucking cock ass, you know. But yeah, I don't think about it too much. Neither does a lot of people, but I'm not scared of it really. It's something I have to prepare myself for when the time happens, you know. And I'm fully prepared for it, you know. But I'm not wishing for it to happen anytime soon because I still have a good 40, 50 years left in my life to accomplish something and say, I've done that with my life, really. And I've done it more better than anyone else ever expected out of me, you know. So that's all I can say, though, for sure. I do plan to be destined for greatness and have a legacy with whatever I accomplished in my life or whatever I did in my life. And I want to be remembered for the good things that I've contributed in my life, whether it's music or just society in general, you know, or the woman I married or friends, you know. Because I am this pretty down-to-earth guy and I want to make good use of it, of course. But enough ranting, guys. I'm gonna go to bed soon, but first, I'm gonna watch some television. You know? You have a good night, guys, and hope you enjoyed this food for thought.